I told her not to go, but she went anyway. I can still picture her expression as she slammed the taxi door. A little smirk, the kind I once mistook for affection, not rebellion. "Don't worry, I've got this," she said, slipping from my grip like I was holding nothing but smoke. Then she was gone, carried off in a blur of yellow and asphalt, while I stood rooted in place, chest tight, pulse hammering, as though the ground had tilted beneath me. I had been cautious, endlessly cautious. I'd anticipated the risks, the temptations, the quiet cracks that could erode the life we had built. I gave her every reason to trust me. But trust isn't something you can enforce. It's delicate, unpredictable, and once it frays, it doesn't mend easily. For months I'd felt it. Subtle changes, small evasions that at first seemed trivial. The sudden phone calls, the excuses to leave early, the hushed voices cut short the moment I entered the room. I asked, gently at first, "Is something wrong?" I'd say, fighting the knot tightening in my gut. She would laugh, brush me off with a careless wave, and I would force myself to believe her. I wanted to believe her. But deep down I knew, when she mentioned the corporate retreat in New York, the one supposedly essential for networking, something inside me hardened. Not anger exactly, but instinct. I knew what could happen if she went. I begged her not to board. That morning, I sat in the company's operations hub, sterile screens glowing in the dim light. Names, schedules, and login credentials scrolled past in neat lines. I had access after years of loyal service. Access meant trust. And trust, I realized, sometimes demanded limits. With trembling hands, I revoked her travel clearance. One keystroke. The sound seemed deafening, final. I leaned back, eyes fixed on her name disappearing from the roster. "You can't go," I whispered to no one. But the truth was harsher. I wasn't saving her from danger out there. I was shielding myself from the truth I already feared. The call came minutes later, her voice sharp, suspicious. "Why can't I log in? What did you do?" I hesitated, words heavy on my tongue. Every part of me wanted her to confess, to speak plainly, to stop hiding. But that moment had already passed. I had to. I finally said, "I couldn't risk it. Not this time." Her laugh, thin, bitter, cut through me. "Not risk it? You mean you don't trust me?" "Not with everything." I replied softly. "Not when I see the same signs, all over again. Not when I feel like I'm losing you." She hung up, and the silence left behind was the first real wound. In the days that followed, I turned into an investigator in my own home, retracing conversations, second-guessing every smile, every late night. And then I found them. The messages, the alternate booking under a false name, the supposed meetings that never existed. Proof, not suspicions, not shadows, proof. My hands shook as I scrolled through them, not from fear, but from sorrow so deep it felt like it was crushing my chest. The betrayal wasn't vague anymore. It was alive, written in words she hadn't meant me to see. When she came home, she tried for casual, light-hearted, as though the week hadn't ripped our marriage apart. I didn't let her. Did you think I wouldn't notice? I asked, voice calm but sharp. Her eyes widened, feigning confusion. Notice what? The flights, the messages, the lies you wrapped in work and late nights. Her cheeks flushed, guilt and defiance warring in her expression. It wasn't like that. I echoed her words, barely audible. It wasn't like that? You were planning, hiding, deceiving. You gambled with everything we had. For what? A thrill? Attention? Something you can't even name? She looked away, and the silence between us roared. I warned you. I said at last, my voice steady though my heart ached. I pulled your access because I saw it coming. Because I thought maybe, just maybe, stopping you would give us a chance. Her eyes softened, not with regret, but with the recognition that the charade was over. I didn't think you'd actually. I did because I loved you. I admitted raw. But love isn't enough when trust is gone. The room seemed to shrink, heavy with everything left unspoken. We had loved, yes, but we had also deceived, withheld, and hurt. Love had never been enough to guard against betrayal. Only honesty could do that, and she had chosen something else. The days blurred. She pleaded, offered explanations, cried. I listened, sometimes patiently, sometimes bitterly, but forgiveness didn't come. Trust, once shattered, is a puzzle missing its vital pieces. And yet, through the devastation, a clarity emerged. Love is not ownership. It is not control. It is recognition. And I had to recognize that the woman I wanted was not the woman I had. That is the cruelest truth of betrayal. It doesn't just break your heart. It shatters your illusions, the story you thought you were living. Weeks later, she approached me quietly. "Can we talk?" she asked, voice trembling. For the first time, I saw fear in her eyes, the awareness that choices have consequences that ripple beyond desire. I nodded, not because I had forgiven her, but because I finally understood closure is not punishment. It is truth. I made mistakes, she admitted, shaking. I was selfish. I didn't think about us. I know, I answered, and maybe we can't go back. But I needed the truth, even if it broke me. She swallowed. I'm sorry. I wish I could take it back. Some things can't be undone, I said, but they can be learned from. All I ever wanted was honesty. And in that moment, painful, liberating, I realized she had betrayed me, yes. But by cutting her access, by forcing the truth into the open, I had saved the only part of myself worth saving. I had chosen clarity over illusion, truth over comfort. Sometimes love is not enough. Sometimes you must choose yourself, even when your heart is breaking.